I spent years saving up money for my son to go to college, but then he cut me out and splashed all that cash on expensive dates and parties. Now I've asked for it back, so he's called the cops. My son and I moved to the US last year. I was a single mom for 16 years before I met and married my husband. I saved up money so he could go to college, as where I come from, college is very important. We moved to a small town, and my son found new friends. These friends, in my opinion, were not a good influence. I am used to polite and academically oriented kids back home. These new friends of his make fun of his books and his plans of going to college. Before his high school graduation, my husband and I took him to several universities in the state so he could get a feel for which one he would like to attend. Then, after he graduated from high school, I told him I had about $20,000 saved up for college. He said it would not be enough because tuition is pretty expensive nowadays. I suggested he could just go to a community college 20 minutes away and live at home to save money. He agreed, and I gave him access to the fund. Long story short, he did not enroll himself and instead started partying a lot and used the money on expensive dates with his girlfriend. He moved out and stopped talking to me. I worked hard to save that up for more than a decade, and I am upset that he wasted it in less than a year. My husband and I went to his place and asked that he pay me back since it is specifically for college and not fun money. He called the police and filed harassment charges. I told the police to review the CCTV footage because the whole time I was talking to him through his ring cam, I was calm and reasonable, and my husband was just standing behind me not saying anything. I was outside the door talking, he never even opened the door to talk to me face to face. The police said there's nothing he can do if my son and his girlfriend felt harassed, he can file a restraining order if he wants to. Back home, this is unforgivable to treat your parent like this. But here in the US, I was treated almost like a criminal. My sister-in-law said it is my fault for confronting him that the money is his to spend since I made him a joint account owner. What the heck do we do now? Was I wrong to give him access to the account? Edit. People cursing me because I said something about wanting to throw my slipper at my son's face. To be clear, I have never laid my hands or my flip-flops on him ever. But after what he did, my intrusive thoughts want me to throw it, but of course, I won't. If he called the cops on me just because I want to talk to him, what more if I threw my flip-flops at his face? His relationship with me before moving to the US was fine. He knew my struggle as a single mom, and he always tried to help me around the house. I was not strict at all, he was free to go out with friends anytime. He was even thrilled to have a father figure, and my husband always tried to make him feel included in everything. Update 1. I still have not heard from my son, and I don't expect him to reach out. But his girlfriend's mother has called me asking if my house is still open to him. I asked her why. It turns out he hasn't paid his share of last month's rent, and his girlfriend had to pay it for him. I said it is not my problem, and he is not welcome anymore in my house since he is an adult. The girlfriend's mom said, "What kind of mother would not extend help to her teenage son?" She further insulted me and said now she knows why he left me. Silly sausage. At this point, I really don't care anymore. I tried to help him get a good start in life, but he wasted it. Aside from the $20,000, he lived rent-free in the house, had free food, a free phone, a car, gas money, and I paid all the utility bills and his health insurance. All I asked is that he focus on his studies, finish at least an associate's degree so he can get a decent job, and be fully independent from me as soon as possible. For some who ask why college is so important to me, as an immigrant, we are held to certain standards. We have to prove to USCIS that we will not become a public charge, meaning we won't rely on any government aid. I want him to be able to be a good immigrant and become productive. I don't even know if he can become a citizen if he makes below poverty income. I was just trying to make sure he gets to live a good life. Another thing that gave me chills was when he moved out. It was the middle of the night, and my husband and I were both asleep. My son left the front door hanging open. I saw it in the camera. We live in a small town, but there's a lot of crime in our area. Someone could have gone in and done something bad. Some of you asked if he even wanted to go to college. Back when we were in our home country, he begged me to please send him to college no matter what. Update 2. The harassment charge was closed for lack of evidence of harassment. A lot of what he said were lies.